in my ass.
I just banged your wife?
Name of this garbage show again that I'm on.
Total Nonstop Impact.
My name's John, capital letter E, period, Bravo, and you're listening to the Total Nonstop Impact Podcast.
This is the jaw-jacking Tuesday Night Impactin'. His mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha Skin Manimal, Rohit Raju, and you are watching Total Nonstop Impact.
This is Taya La Güera Loca, and you are listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and you're listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
We are the Rascals, and you are listening to Total
Nonstop
Impact Podcast, baby.
Woo! And what you're really listening to is Total Nonstop Impact. Don't you dare miss a lesson. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
What's up, Impact Wrestling? Let's make some noise!
Sitting here, you guys got a 15-minute intro of putting yourselves over while I'm sitting here and watching J-Bone and Kaylon and you're 50. I never saw a 15-minute intro of three guys putting themselves over.
This is the good stuff.
Welcome, everybody, to Total Nonstop Impact, Impact Talk for Impact fans. Featured right here on the TNI Network. This is the Sunday Dinner. This is the Impact Plus Weekly. I am Trey along with Bill and J-Bone today. Gentlemen, happy weekend. Weekend's over, I should say, but Bill had a great week. We're going to talk about that in a second. Happy Sunday to you, gentlemen, here. What's going on, guys? Bill, are you jet lagged at all? You just flew in, and boy, are your arms tired. But
no, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. It was a short enough trip out to the West Coast where I stayed on my same time. I didn't adjust for time. So I always kept in mind East Coast time while I was out there. So I tried to play it off a couple days beforehand, adjusting a little bit, but not get that lag. If you're out there for like 5 to 7 days, then you adjust and get the lag. But if you're only there for like 3 or 4 days, you can keep it tight.
Nice,
so
nice.
No, feel good. We'll see what tomorrow holds. I might be a wreck tomorrow, but as of now, I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, lucky for you, you get to work from home, right? So you're working from home, or you can kind of recoup a little bit while you work.
Yeah. It might be like some of the heading to the road for shows in the past. I might be go through the day, and then maybe 5-6 p.m. my time, I might have a crash. So we'll see.
Yeah. J-Bone, it is Mr. or Mrs. Claus's workshop at your house this weekend. I know that for a fact. What's going on over there, man, up in Wisconsin?
Oh, Jabronsky Claus is actually helping out Mrs. J-Bone Claus, Mrs. Claus. Yeah, I mean, she's getting her business kicking in gear, and I've been helping her with a few things. I'm going to be helping her launch her website soon. So
nice.
If there's anybody interested in crafting type of deals, stay tuned, because I'm going to plug her stuff too once in a while.
I already commissioned a couple of things from Mrs. J. Bronsky Claus for Christmas for a few gifts. So she's already underway with a couple of things. The samples I saw, guys. So I'll wait till Jay plugs it officially. But I gotta say, if you guys need original gifts, this is one talented lady you got there, J-Bone.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like this just like came about over the course of this last, I'd say, year-ish. About a calendar year, because it really started last year. She started making stuff for the house for like decorations.
That's awesome.
And then it turned into making like personal stuff, not just stuff for us. And I was like, I've been telling her for 6 months. I'm like, you need to open up an Etsy. But you need to open up an Etsy like 5 minutes ago.
Dude, she absolutely needs to do something, because she's got some awesome stuff, man. So, hey, what's going on, everybody in the chat? I see Kevin's in here too. edit production extraordinaire Kevin Martin himself, who's going to have a busy goddamn week coming up. There's going to be a lot to do, I'm sure. I'm sure he's already had a lot to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. Guys, it's probably one of the most exciting weeks in Impact Wrestling, professional wrestling history, honestly. It's a revolutionary week. We broke the news on Wednesday night, and our video blew up. People were coming to us. There's new people. For any new folks who are just joining us as of this week, all you folks who just found us because of the AEW Impact merger news, or not merger, but the co-op partnership news.
It's like it's a crossover, and we don't know exactly like to what degree it's happening, but it is happening. We just have to wait and see how it unfolds to the public eye.
Yeah. But no, welcome everybody. So we do a Sunday night show. Usually it's all of us are in here. We call it the family dinner. Usually Kaylon, as we call him, and Alicia are in here, but they're out for some personal reasons. And J-Bo's got a giant lollipop with him. But we do here, guys.
It's dinner. It's dinner.
It's like in the Flintstones, just eating the big bone.
I brought dessert.
So we talk Xplosion. We talk about the Xplosion. Yeah, we like to give a little shine to Xplosion because nobody else really does. So we like to talk about Xplosion. We discuss the Around the Ring segment, a little bit of the flashback, recap a little bit, tiny bit. And then for the second half of the show, we just open it up, open forum, open topics from the chat. So feel free to bring anything to us.
We got some news. Let me tell you, we got some news.
Big news coming up. So actually, you want to start off with news? You want to wait till the end, J-Bo?
We can get news out of the way if you want.
Let's do the jingle too, because I like the jingle, and the jingle's going to stay. So we got to do everybody's Sunday night edition of J-Bone's News.
Jiminy Christmas!
And now your weekend edition of J-Bone's News. I really didn't think you had any today, being that it's Sunday and all, and even the Lord takes off on Sunday. Anyway, J-Bone's got something to tell you. Take it away, J-Bone.
Searching for my fake wrestling news.
All right, there you go, J-Bone. Great stuff. I alley-ooped you not perfectly. Go for it.
I love that jingle. I really do. Gets me all excited about the news, even if I don't have anything. No, this week I actually got a bunch of news, and I'll continue some of this on Tuesday because I know not everybody tunes in for this, but they should. They should. Yeah. Tell your friends too. So yeah, I mean, if you were a wrestling fan of Impact Wrestling or AEW, and you were underneath a rock for like the last week or two, yeah, you missed some massive news. You really did. Because number one, AEW has a new world champ, Kenny Omega, and he got scooted away by a certain EVP from Impact Wrestling, one Don Callis. And when they got to the limo, because they just ran past everyone and ran off like, what did you ever say? Scalded dogs. That was freaking hilarious. They informed everyone that they were going to next show up on Tuesday night on Access TV on Impact Wrestling. So
it's still bizarre to hear. Like honestly, this is. Can I sorry to interrupt you, J-Bone?
Oh no, that's all right.
I gotta say it. Now, wrestling, as we know, is definitely not as popular as it was 20, 25 years ago. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna sit here and kid you, no matter what.
Yeah, later Chris Sabin tells us exactly that.
Yeah. So it's not. But I will say this: back in the day, I'm talking Monday Night Wars peak era. If something like this were to have happened, I mean, that would have set the world on fire. You know what I mean? Like that. I'm talking between, let's say, Nitro and WWE. And let's go on that level. We did have a taste of it. Bill, you might have been in the audience for when the whole Mike Awesome Taz thing happened and all that. But
no, it did remind me of those ECW connections with up north back then, where Jerry Lawler would show up, arena lights go out, and Lawler, he was just on Monday Night Raw. Right. What's he doing here? But obviously they had a working agreement then. But it reminded me a lot of this.
Well, the big difference here is the champion. It never was that the champion was sent over. It's all you had to protect because you knew they'd bury the champion. They'd find a way to screw this. And I gotta say, now I'm not an AEW guy. I don't watch it, but I gotta say, there's a real amazing amount of trust in AEW, from AEW to Impact Wrestling, to say we're gonna trust you with our flagship guy.
Yeah.
On your channel, on your territory. I can never imagine Austin would have went to Nitro and they would have taken care of him, and vice versa. Like
it's that Don. It's the Don dynamic.
It's Don.
It's without Don, the trust isn't there probably.
Incredible. Sorry, J-Mo, go ahead and continue. You got more.
Oh no, it's okay. So that was just for those who don't know. There's the big news. So this coming Tuesday is going to be very interesting. We're hoping to catch a lot of eyes on the Twitch stream or on Impact on Access TV. We also do a co-stream from the Impact Wrestling Twitch, so be sure to tune in for that. You can catch our live reactions as well. And in the realm of that, a bit of news here: Impact Wrestling made top 150 cable ratings. Over 150K watched the last episode. So that's a nice little piece of news there. The numbers are slowly growing, folks. So I can't wait to see what the numbers are this next week. That's going to be very interesting.
Thinks that there's going to be an NFL game on Tuesday. That takes a little momentum of people, but hopefully still up.
Uh-oh.
ICU. They struck again.
What happened?
Well, what other news you got there, J-Ben?
Well, we'll get Trent back soon. Let's see. So the Young Bucks, we're talking about
Generation Me.
Oh, well, okay, yeah, the former Generation Me. For anyone who wants to know, because everyone under the sun has been trying desperately to get ahead of this, and no one can unless it's from the horse's mouth. So the Young Bucks are, I'm quoting them here, as far as the AEW Impact Wrestling relationship, is something we've been whispering in Tony Khan's ear for 2 years. And so if you're wondering how long it's been in the works, this goes all the way back to when the Hardys did a little invasion and did that little, I mean, some of it got wonky, but it was a different company back then. There were different people. Well, I think Ed Norholm was in charge, but there was a different aspect on working with other companies at that time. So,
now it's obviously Ring of Honor as compared to today.
Right. That was Ring of Honor. And, stuff got wonky back then, but the atmosphere in wrestling and who they're dealing with as far as the people on top of Impact Wrestling and, in the other company, AEW, with Tony Khan and others, it's night and day difference. You could tell already that the future is, no matter how big or small this is, it's going to be interesting. So yeah, this has been in the works for a while. It truly defines the expression "open for business," as opposed to, oh sure, we're open for business. Now we're gonna snatch your company and hire all the people, maybe a few of them, and then maybe we'll stick your ass on our network, even though we really don't give a shit about you. That's a different kind of That's not open for business.
No, this is a whole different level. And I popped out for a second because people were pointing out my camera was a little weird. I don't have my HD set up here. I'm on location. I'm on site. It's Sunday dinner, literally at the Zuberi household. I'm at mom and dad's every Sunday to have a little family time. So I bring the
meatball.
Yeah, it's gonna be mom. No, but I don't have my HD microphone. Everybody sees my cool microphone and my camera. I don't have that. So I used a basic bare bones setup over here.
He's hardcore.
I just buy a set and leave it over here. But anyway, go ahead, J-Bo. You're right, though. I heard what you're saying about that. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
So yeah, if anybody wants to know how long that's been in the works, it's been in the works for quite a while, and now it's finally getting off the ground. So that's great to hear. Let's see what else here. We got. Oh, this is something that came out this morning. This isn't really a big news bite, but Kenny Omega and Don Callis were spotted during an early morning road trip this morning. So it looks like they were someone took a picture of them at an airport. They were either coming off an airplane or getting on an airplane. I'm not totally sure here.
Looks like they're getting off the airplane. I couldn't tell what airport it was, though. Bill, you've been to a lot of airports, too. It looked like Nashville's to me personally. I mean, maybe I'm just leading my mind to think that because of the whole connection. But I mean, a lot of gates look the same sometimes.
Yeah, that was tough. I did see the picture real quick. It didn't seem like an obvious. It's definitely that airport to me.
What threw me off though? What threw me off is Kenny doesn't have a jacket on, what Don does. So it's like it's a cold weather climate that they're in, a warm weather. I don't know.
But that's Don, man. The Golden Booker. He's playing with us. Plus he's a fashion plate, Don Callis.
He is.
So he's always got to keep the gimmick.
He's Jackal. Come on.
The Jackal. Nice. That was a good one. If you guys haven't seen that picture, it's floating around out there. And it's some fan definitely snapped it at some point and threw it around, so it got some play. But go check that out. What else you got, Jay?
This literally came out minutes before we went live. I guess Triple H was.
There was a call, a media conference call after Takeover.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they just had their Takeover War Games, and he said something. I'm trying to look for a quote here.
Yeah, I believe it was Nick Hausman from Wrestling Inc. He asked him about Trey. He said Trey? About Trey. And he didn't specifically respond to that, but he kind of talked about the drive of people. And like some people that get signed have a drive and other ones don't. So it's a very interesting, I put out there, comment from Trips. But it's a little cold water on a lot of people's thoughts.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that. Wow. Listen, they could just be working.
It could be a
everybody.
grain of salt. Yeah, it could be a grain of salt. Who knows?
It's all speculation. We don't know. But
you never know.
It's interesting how he addressed it, because that's not your normal corporate answer.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty shooty. I mean, and shitty, really, honestly. I mean, you could have said a million different things and then just, I don't know. But yeah, that literally just came out minutes before we went live. So, but that's pretty much it for the news. But yeah, please do tune in this Tuesday for the co-stream, because man, we can't wait to see what happens with this new development when Don Callis apparently is going to show up with one Kenny Omega.
Oh, that's confirmed. The Impact account put it out there.
Oh, it's there.
The AEW account retweeted that, so he's there. He will be there Tuesday.
I mean, it's happening one way or another. He's going to be on TV on Tuesday.
And I tell you what, I've seen every part of the spectrum as far as reactions to this, oh my god, like multi-male orgasm excitement, which I just think is freaking hilarious.
It's a little much for me. This is still pro wrestling, guys. Let's take it easy, okay?
Now, it's good a Sunday show, but
it's good old. If you want to know what I'm talking about, good old Ollie Davis from Wrestle Time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was eggplants all over the place. My God.
Look, if you're getting a boner to pro wrestling and you're a straight grown-ass male or just a grown man in general, you're getting a boner to wrestling, you have a problem. Okay, there's a freaking problem here.
We're talking about Don Callis here, so.
I have seen that penis.
All right, I stand corrected. Go ahead, Jay Bone.
But I have seen everything from that to the opposite end of the spectrum, just frothing at the mouth hate. Guys losing their minds. That now, mind you, this is people that turned their back on TNA ages ago. Ages ago.
Wait a minute. I can't go on when somebody in the chat puts the Peter North special on our chat. This is the first time this happened. My God, Terrence, you lunatic. If nobody knows that reference, don't Google it on a work computer. Let's just put it that way. My God. I've never, Bill, I don't think that's the first time someone's put the Peter North special on TNI. Jesus Christ. If you grew up in the 90s, you know exactly what we're talking about. Go on, Jay, but I don't know how I'm going to concentrate after that.
That's okay.
Lord almighty.
That's pretty good. But I saw, and I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to be that much of a dick, but man, this dude was just screaming the hair off of his nuts mad at the fact that AEW chose to do some kind of partnership or crossover or what, like legit angry, just fuming mad. And it's like, whoa, dude, what is
there to be mad about here? Well, I mean, honestly, if you're a wrestling fan, are you mad? What are you mad about?
Exactly.
Like, you call yourself a wrestling fan. Well, then be a fan. You should like this for wrestling, the business. To get mad over this is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, you should, unless you're someone out there that maybe has a bunch of hot takes, or as we like to say, shots fired, that maybe were very negative of that ever happening.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just looking for some cover. But
That's all. Run for cover. You fucking animals.
buy a dog if you're scared.
I just laughed. I was just like, man, just like seriously, if you're getting that angry, don't watch wrestling. Seriously, go check yourself in someplace. Get a little help for upstairs. You know, maybe go back on your meds. Whatever you need to do. Don't watch wrestling if you're getting that angry.
It's
Seriously,
unbelievable.
it's wrestling.
Unbelievable. I am so mind-boggled that if you're going to be upset about progress, you know, it's people who are insecure about losing any little bit of like corner they had, because a lot of these fans who, if you're getting mad at this, you're one of those fans who have nothing else in your life, right? And to you, this is the only thing you got, so you're going to protect it by all means. And now you open it up to Impact, and it's like, oh, there's more people going to like my thing now, and it's not going to just be mine, though. So that's that hipster mentality of like, it's not just my little secret. Well, your little secret is what got the ratings from 9 million people to barely cracking 2 million in 2020. So you know what? As far as I'm concerned, I don't give a shit if my grandma starts watching this at this point. I want everybody to start getting on board with this whole thing. That's the way it grows.
The truck. Hop on the back.
The truck. Where the hell is Truck, by the way? Where's Truck? He's on the chat. Truck does not do the Sunday show, does he? Truck never
No, he's mainly a Tuesday guy.
Truck had date night this weekend. I'm not going to give him a hard time. Our buddy Truck was looking smooth on Twitter this afternoon.
Looking dapper.
He looked like
dapper.
Some kind of lucha looking face.
He looked good.
Mask. Looked dope.
He looked good. All right, let's see. You know the news, J-Mo? Should we jump in Xplosion?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, Xplosion is, guys, the match of the week, which is only one match, which we're trying to get made more matches. Maybe 2 matches a week. Johnny Swinger taking on Suicide. These two are becoming like there we go. Swinger. That Swinger shirt's awesome. Swinger and Suicide are pretty much becoming like the Xplosion guys at this point. I'm not complaining, actually, because Suicide's working with everybody, no problem. And Swinger is just a riot on Xplosion. I mean, he's literally doing his own commentary in there. And
like Josh had a color man.
It is. And correct? Am I crazy, or was Josh way more laid back on this? Like, I'm talking like he was actually having a good time.
Yes,
because he normally he's pretty stiff, and I want Josh to get more. We talk about every week on Throwback. If Josh can channel that little Mike Tenay and just react with that emotion that Tenay did, like feel the moment instead of just giving it to me as an analyst, or as a color play-by-play guy, feel the emotion. when he lays back a little bit, he's actually pretty fun, man. Like he was good on this match.
He was having fun. I think it's because of Swinger, and I'm a big Josh fan. But if you like this style, especially, I would say I wouldn't guarantee that. I think a big thing was because it was Swinger, and he was just, I think, having a riot with Swinger's antics in this match, which were great. Some of them were just there were classic Swingerisms in this match. He goes over the counts of the bandanas, 12 to 14 bandanas. He charges $15 a pop. He's got like 1,000, 50 bucks. Yeah.
50.
50 bucks a pop.
Ring worn bandanas.
Ring worn. $1,000 he had on him. The guy.
$1,000.
I'll sign this one and sell it to you for $5.
Hey, listen, he was talking about he was wearing $1,000 worth of fucking bandanas. Hey, the Swinger bandana is dope though. I gotta say, if you don't have, I'm lucky enough to have one. Jay, well, you got one too. Hey, Bill, did you ever pick one up from when you're?
I got that the same one that Jay has.
I got that same one. That's the only one he's got. Yeah.
Well, no. Now he has the swing time one. This was the one before the swing time one.
Oh, I have the swing time one. What do you got? That?
Well, that's his gimmick bandana. The other one was the one, the style, the Preppy Pirate.
Oh, Preppy Pirate did. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, they're both from Preppy Pirate. The one has the Preppy Pirate logo.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I got one of those too. That's right. Okay. Yeah. Because they sent me one when I won that trivia contest. They sent me that one, and and then he gave me one on my birthday when I was in Nashville. So I do have the swing time one. It's cool. If you ever see Swinger, he was talking about how he loves it. He goes lighter to carry around than t-shirts, Daddy. He literally said that to me when I asked him. He's like, I could fit about 100 of these in my luggage, Daddy. I lighter than t-shirts. I'm like, it's awesome. You're right.
Well, I was hoping to actually pick up one from the Swingman.
Yeah.
Now, because there was when I went down to Georgia, he was supposed to be there, but then it got moved around, so he wasn't there. I'm looking at maybe a show not too long from now that might have the Swingman on it. So we'll see. I might get my bandana there.
How about this, Bill? What are they? $10 a pop? Why don't you pick up one, and we'll give one away, and we'll buy it from the show account. The show's gonna buy it from Bill. It's a reimbursed bill. It's business expense. We check some balances here. Got to submit a receipt, Bill. We're gonna give one away. As part of a little holiday giveaway. I'm going to give one away. I'm going to give a Swinger bandana away to somebody in the chat. How about that? I'm going to give somebody this one. Once we have it in stock. Once we get it, I'm going to give one. It'll be a little holiday, even if it's after the holiday. I'll give it away.
Check. If he's selling the fanny packs, might want to check out that trail mix, Daddy.
Oh, you got to get that trail mix, Daddy.
I know.
Ails you.
I'm pretty sure on his Facebook, I don't know if you put this on his Twitter box too, but I saw him. He had the Swing Time bandana and an 8x10 for $20. That's pretty good.
Oh,
it's not bad, man. Yeah,
that's Swingerific, that deal.
That was on Facebook. You're right. That's actually not a bad deal, man. Not a bad deal. Very cool. Very cool, man. So, all right, let's see what else we got here.
You guys swing?
Yes, we all swing, Johnny. We all swing.
Oh, speaking of, you said swingerisms. Suicide had an arm bar on Swinger partway through the match. Swinger screams out, hey, that's Band and Amarillo. Josh goes, hey, this ain't Amarillo.
There was a Memphis reference in there.
Oh, yeah. Then Josh says, you idiot.
I love it, man.
Oh, it was a riot. I mean,
he was going after the bingo hall, so I was a little like, come on, Josh. Don't. He says, oh, he looks like he belongs to the bingo hall. Like,
yeah,
that's enough. That's enough, Josh.
What got me was Josh, like, oh, he's been here, he's done it all in wrestling. He doesn't mention he's a former tag team champion.
I mean, that was before on one of the earlier explosions in the last month or so, but not on this one.
This was the opening.
He alluded to it. Yeah.
He alluded to the fact that he's done everything here. He's been in Impact Wrestling, TNA. I'm like, and he's been a former tag team champion. We're going to mention that one of these days again. But that's
where he went into the ECW because he was like, I felt that was he was going to go full circle.
I thought he was.
But then he just got into the bingo hall insults, and then he went away with it.
Yeah, bummer. But Suicide does win on this one. Nobody's a loser, though. It was actually a really fun match. I really love anything Johnny Swingers. And I got to say, Suicide has been a very solid Xplosion match guy. Like, they've been putting him in there a lot. He's delivering matches, no complaints. I still want a second match on Xplosion. I think when you get a match like this, your momentum's kind of high. I was kind of into I could go for another match and a couple of promos in between the two. You know, I'm a little hyped up, Jay. I'm like, that match was fun. You know, Johnny's got me laughing. I don't want to come down to the around the ring yet. I want to give me one more match, then give me around the ring, or even sandwich around the ring between two. I want to keep that momentum going. So that was fun though, Jay. I enjoyed it. Jay's indisposed. CBD lollipops taking.
Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. There's a few new subs tonight. Just want to thank everybody live for the subs. And speaking of Twitch subs, over on the YouTube subs, we had almost 40 new subs within the last
3 days.
Within this last week. So we just cracked 950 on our way to 1K, folks. Thank you.
We are a Impact show that we're not a single platform, guys. We do Twitch, YouTube, every audio platform you can imagine. Periscope, we're hitting a lot at one time. YouTube was something that was always lower on our spectrum because we were being syndicated by another channel for a long time. So our YouTube was really neglected until this pandemic hit, and we branched out on our own. And in just mere months, we have grown this almost 4 times what it was. And once we hit that 1,000, it's a hell of an accomplishment for us. Our Twitch blew up fast. And we love our Twitch, but we definitely want to. YouTube was there first, and we do a lot of stuff on. So we want to keep that going too. So we thank you guys for joining us on YouTube. All the new subs. If you're an Impact Wrestling fan, you're not going to find a show better than the show. I mean, we do 3 shows a week. We do pay-per-views. We do breaking news, and we're not some smart-ass move for move.
Don't forget UK.
And the UK, yes, we touched the UK too. Thank you, J-Bo. He would have killed me if I didn't mention it. But yeah, 2 guys in the UK who do original content too. We are hitting from all aspects, guys. So if you're a new listener, absolutely welcome. We are honestly a hell of a community here, as you can tell by our live chat.
And I dare say we are, to my knowledge, the only podcast that does the co-stream of the actual show.
We are
every Tuesday, and we do not miss it. So it will be there. And for the international UK folks, if you already don't know, because I know sometimes that's difficulty watching on Twitch. You can watch with us. So please join us.
Yeah, do that, guys. Yeah, we are here. You know, Bill's hosting. Jay's in there now too. I pop in and out and we're only enhancing our co-stream. So our co-stream's even getting more and more enhanced as weeks go by. But in the meantime, it's on. These 2 guys are in there hosting, and we go live with the main show right after that. So come hang out with us. We're a blast. But around the ring, yeah.
Before we get to that, because the whole format of Xplosion, and we've talked about it many times, Josh actually at the beginning of the episode laid it out, which he doesn't always do. After this match, but he doesn't say. You can tell it's like a canned response. It's like David Penzer with a superstar and a throwback match along with a pay-per-view match. So that's kind of the formula. At least for now, we know what it's going to be throughout the rest of the year. It's this formula, which I like to say Saturday morning wrestling, but it's recap of the Tuesday show with a match, a pay-per-view match for the Impact Plus app.
Yep.
And then a not seen before match and the interview with David Penzer.
Yeah.
So that's kind of their format. Would it be great to have another match? Yes. A little more backstage segments? Yes. Those Twitter digital exclusives would be great to throw a couple of those in there at least. But we'll see.
There's so much room in here. Even if you just scrap the flashback match, if you just flash you got time to fit a ton. Some of those flashback matches have been like 12 minutes. You know, sometimes even more.
They give them a lot of time. They give them a lot of time. Use pay-per-view because they're pay-per-view matches. So they're usually at least 12 minutes, honestly. They're always at least 10 minutes. Usually more in the 15, 18-minute range, honestly.
That's what I'm saying. You end up getting long matches there, and you're like, man, that's room that could be used elsewhere. You know.
Now, I'd like to think maybe that will change a little bit whenever we get out of the craziness, the pandemic era of wrestling. Maybe that's where some more changes happen, but we'll see.
We'll see.
I think a lot depends. Will there ever be an official second show, or will it be Xplosion? That's the question, because then they'll probably alter Xplosion further and further if there isn't an official second show. But with all this buzz the last week, let's just say it again from when we went live the other day. Impact did not have a show. The stuff with AEW, they were trending number 4?
On a day they weren't even on, they reached number 4. How about that? That's crazy. And like several of their hashtags, like they were threading them all. It's like Impact Wrestling, Impact Access TV, like you name it. Like it was all threading in. It was crazy. It was just I'm mind boggled by how on a day that weren't even on is so cool to me. It's super cool. Around the ring, guys, Chris Sabin and David Penzer. This was a great one. This was awesome. We got the Sabin hoodie, classic hoodie with the spikes. Chris Sabin literally is a TNA legend, and he's like not even 40. He's maybe just turned 40. We've been watching Throwback Jay. We've been doing Throwback Jay and Bill and I, and a young 22-year-old Chris Sabin as an X Division champion. We get vibes of a young Ace Austin, down to the curly hair, even and this young, cocky 22-year-old as X Division champion on top of the world. It was cool to hear, though, guys, him talking about what kind of led him to what we're watching on Throwback. And if you guys don't know, we do a Throwback show every Thursday in the Asylum years, and we're on. Sabin is pretty much fresh in there right now. But no, J-Bone, kind of crazy to hear what got him to those shows that we're watching. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, that was very cool. Yeah, I hope there's more parts to this.
I would love a few more of this one. I mean, honestly, I think Sabin Bill could be. You could do an hour with Sabin.
Yeah, honestly, I know we kind of talk about it. We're hoping to have some more guests. I know people have been asking for it. That's in the works. But I'd love to have Sabin on, because he once again, just like Ace, like Sabin. You don't hear a lot from Sabin in these type of sit down interviews. So this was really interesting. I knew the connection with Scott D'Amore, but he talks about that first one he went to that went out of business. That was in a backyard. It didn't have a building. But then the guy that was the teacher at that school, the trainer, he knew Scott. That was his trainer. So he hooked him up there at Border City. I guess with Can-Am, but then he wound up wrestling stuff for Border City. But that was interesting how he got started in TNA. His tryout match was because of a BCW show against Sabu.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Never would have guessed it. Sabu's also a Detroit guy. Detroit's got an interesting. Detroit has a very historic scene, which is
all
always
the way back to the Sheik.
All the way back to the Sheik. At Cobo Hall and stuff. But Jay, it's like we all know Detroit's guys, but it's never bragged about. It's always Ohio, Memphis, New York, Philly. You don't never hear Detroit. Detroit had a hell of a fucking strong scene, and I'm sure if Adam's still in here, he could attest to that. He's a Detroit guy. But it's one of those where it's a rich scene that just never really gets mentioned. A lot of guys came out of Detroit and subsequently Windsor across the water over there.
Yeah. There's a lot of people going back and forth. There he is in the chat.
There he is.
Adam Binpack says Truth Martini trained so many of the talent. Yeah.
My buddy Truth, man. Good buddy. Very interesting character. Probably the one guy who it's a tragedy he's sitting on the shelf right now.
Yeah.
Not on TV. He's training.
As a manager, talking head, that guy did not get a bigger avenue to show that other than that period of Ring of Honor, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the House of Truth. Come on.
One of the greatest men. Jerry, are you familiar with Truth Martini? Did you see a lot of Truth Martini?
I saw. The only thing I'm familiar with him is his time in Ring of Honor when Ring of Honor hit TV in 2012 when they got that new TV deal.
Yeah.
And I saw him with guys like, I believe, Jay Lethal, Roderick Strong, to name a few.
Yeah, Taven was there for a bit.
Yeah. And then, I don't know. I was real back and forth with Ring of Honor. I watched them solid for a while because I was like, man, it was like raw, about 2012 when they had Steen in there. They had Benjamin and Haas in there as a tag team, still in their prime. The Briscoes, of course, have always been in there. So yeah, I mean, it was an interesting landscape in that company in that time.
I got a great Truth Martini story. If I could just sidebar off of Impact for a second.
Oh, yeah.
I got a great.
Kyle.
We love story time with Trent.
I got a great Truth Martini story for you guys. This one is great. No, Kyle's not going to cut my mic.
Kyle, don't play sound bites over me.
He ain't here, Bravo. He ain't here. Listen to this. So they did an event here called Mike Bennett's Bachelor Party before he married Maria, and they did it. It was a unauthorized Ring of Honor show, quote unquote. I mean, it wasn't really a show. This was a circus organized by Truth Martini, right? He was organizing Mike Bennett's Bachelor Party. Now, Truth also ran an unauthorized show in Chicago called the Night of Hoopla. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Night of Hoopla.
I believe Scarlett Bordeaux was there for
she was the
Impact throwback.
She was. Now, he threw Mike Bennett's Bachelor Party. And in Chicago at Bourbon Street, which we both have been to in Chicago here. Now, it was a Thursday night. Party started at 7:00. I get a message from Truth. I get a text from Truth, and I read everything in Truth's voice. If you know what Truth's voice sounds like? It's, "Hey Trent, I got a favor to ask you." It's like he talks like that, right? So he goes, "Listen, I need a couple of girls. I need a couple of hot girls for tonight." I go, "Hot girl?" I'm like, "What's going on?" He goes, "It's Mike's Bachelor Party, and a couple of girls, they got to be able to dance. They might look, even if they're ugly, I just need a couple of girls to dance. And, you know any girls who can dance?" And I was like, "Well," I'm like, "It's 4:00, and this thing starts at 7. Try, like, what am I supposed to do, right?" And I'm like, "I'll try, man." I mean, he's like, "I'll pay him $100. I need him for like 10 minutes. I just need 100. I need 3 hot girls. I mean, hot, like they're standing on Mercury, hot girls." And I was like, all right. I said I couldn't get. I mean, who am I gonna like? What's the pitch that I call like my female friends? Like, "Hey, listen, are you willing to dance not nude at a bachelor party in a wrestling ring for $100 for 10 minutes work?" And like, I asked one female friend of mine, she's like, "What are you out of your mind? Like, what are you asking me?" I'm not doing this. So I get to the thing anyway.
Clubs near Bourbon Street.
I mean, there are some, but it was like I leave it some later on in the evening. We do the show, finish the show. I go up to Truth Martini. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, I couldn't find any girls, man. I'm like, it was such a short time. He goes, "Hey, listen, I'm sitting here thinking, who's a rock star? Who do I know who might know a couple of broads they can get easily? I figure I see you in all the pictures, hanging out with all these chicks all the time. I figured I'd give you a call. Don't worry about it. It's fine." I think they ended up going to a club and getting a couple of girls, but he was
there you go. So now you know. That's what you got to do.
I just was like, it was the most random text message I've ever gotten. Was like, "I need 3 hot girls, like 7:00 tonight." Like, what am I, pimp? But Jay,
that's too damn funny. I love it.
He is a gem. The guy is so good. Looking at Truth Martini, but it was fun, very fun. But right, yeah, Sabin easily I can get an hour out of this. I hope this is at least a 2. If Larry D got 3 parts, I want Sabin to have 4. The guy knows where the body's buried in Impact. You know what I mean? Like, he's been there through everything, with the exception of the injuries, guys. Like, he was shit. He was there for all of it. I mean, like, he's seen them all come and go. He mentions that, Bill. He's like, I've seen guys, they move on to other things, so that you're happy for them, but they all come and go. But I've been here and stuff. I thought that was kind of interesting.
No, that was interesting. It'll be. I'm not sure. I hope they got more footage, because there is one thing that kind of like they had the nice sets still, but you could tell there was commotion going on. So I'm hoping that didn't cut it short. So I'm hoping that doesn't cut it short.
It was
like, they didn't go, okay, we got enough. There's too much going on.
Good point.
Because I felt bad because you could feel like that Penzer was like, oh man, there's quiet down, but you can't.
One of the things when I was helping Penzer with the last set of these, I was in charge. He put me in charge of telling everybody to quiet down.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I
So
feel that may not have been there this time.
which helps because like
yeah, you can tell Ingrid.
Hey,
you did something right there.
I'll do it in Truth Martini voice because she's from Detroit too. I'm like, hey, listen, Ingrid, maybe help you out, But like one of the things I do at AAW,
guys are making all that racket, that Ricky.
Exactly. Let's calm them down a little bit. A couple of downers, not uppers. You know what I mean, Ingrid? No, I one of the things I do at AAW, which I got from Dr. Keith Lipinski of Chikara fame or Wrestling Society X fame, I should say. One of the writers on Wrestling Society X who works at AAW now. His big thing is shooting a promo in 5, 4, and just yell it the fuck out, right? So that's my thing. I'm like, hey, I'll bring it here, shooting a promo, and everybody's like, who the fuck's this guy? I'm just like beyond that at Impact. But who do we yell now to shut people up? And I was like, that didn't go over too well. Let's get this over with, Penzer. All right. But, I'll just be over
one
here.
and done, mother trucker.
But no, it's good stuff. What were the recap and flashbacks, Jay? What do we have today?
The classic was Final Resolution, which is coming up soon again.
I like the tie-ins. I always love the tie-in.
Yeah, that's really good that they're doing that. They're keeping that. They're like, hey, here's a flashback, and this is also coming up soon. 2007, the champ Kurt Angle. Now, this was funny. I had to do a double take, but he comes out with Karen here, and it took me a second. I'm like, wait, why is he? Oh, wait, that's right. They were married. Duh.
That's right.
So Kurt Angle and Mrs. Angle versus Christian Cage.
That's a classic. It shows a lot. Man, the diversity of that history, I don't care who you are. It's hard to – only one company can rival the history right now, and that's up north. That's the only one that cannot rival any history. Impact's that's the next company in line with that legacy. And you hear the names on these flashbacks, like, Jesus Christ, like who came through these doors? It's incredible. It's incredible to watch. But yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with the old stuff, watch Final Resolution, get Impact Plus. Watch Final Resolution, get familiar with the old Final Resolution, and see why the name is kind of cool to have back in 2020. Right, Bill? Like it was a yearly pay-per-view for a solid 10 years almost.
Yeah, no, I think we're all big fans. If you're a TNA fan, the Impact Plus specials, bringing back all the old names.
I love it.
There was a while, a couple years ago on TV, they were bringing back some of these names for weekly TV shows, which was I was a fan of as well. Recognizing the history in some way, and I gotta feel that like Scott is a big proponent of that.
Oh,
I feel like he was one, and to give credit, I think when Jeff made his return, I think he was too, bringing some of that TNA back. So I think you gotta. There was a time where they were ignoring the history. Obviously, they totally got rid of everything. That wasn't the brightest move. You got to find a nice balance to start fresh, but you have all this history. There's no reason to. Yeah, is there some internet trolls you were trying to shut up? I guess so, but that ain't a reason just to forget your history, erase all that.
No,
much more positive than negative.
There's a lot. That's the thing. Like I've seen, and more as the weeks go by, some of the old feelings are replaced and they're forgot. Like anybody who held on to some resentment with the company, I'm feeling it's shaving off more and more, especially after Wednesday.
Yeah, you're seeing that was huge. That's changing things. That changes. Opinions have changed after Wednesday on a lot of this. Although if I have to hear freaking New Japan and Okada one more time, that's the reason. The Good Brothers, I think I've erased that. Rocky Romero, we'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon, Rocky Romero. A lot of repair done. But you know what? It's one of those things where some of the damage, I think, was blown out of proportion, too. I mean, way out of proportion. Jay, like they made some of these things seem way fucking worse than they were. And it's just the typical troll bullshit. In all fairness, I see them doing that to up north now, to WWE now. I mean, they're treating them like, listen, I'm not a WWE fan. I don't watch. I got friends who work there, but I don't. The product doesn't engage me. But I can't. I'd be an asshole if I sat here and acted like they never did shit. You know what I mean? Like they never did. They're fucking like, they're still the top. They're what they are for a reason. They did something. They brought a lot of us to the dance to watch this stuff.
Oh yeah,
right. And we can't sit here and act like. But
Chris Sabin.
Chris Sabin said it himself today. It's just like they're doing it. They're doing that to them. They're really like dragging them to the mud on their legacy now. It's like, look, they got skeletons in their closet too, but I'm not going to act like they never did anything good either. You know what I mean? It's bullshit.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Jay. I know you. I mean, your Jay watches everything still, and he knows from a perspective level. It's just that troll mentality. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I've been back and forth with a lot of different companies. I've been back and forth with WWE. I've been back and forth with TNA when I fell out with them for a while, and came back around 2017, and I've been watching consistently ever since.
Yeah. Listen, and the history is good. If you haven't gone back and watched, go watch. It's fun. There's something great in every era. It's like any wrestling, though. People putting like I'm gonna use AEW as an example, putting them on a pedestal as if like they're like they got 1 year in business. What are you talking about? Like you can't. They're not even qualified yet. You know what I mean? Like they haven't qualified for the tournament yet here. So
have they done some landmark things in 1 year to help shift eyes and get some old fans back? Sure, I'll give them credit for that. But it's all a work in progress. It by no means is perfect. I know there's one of the biggest points that I've seen people discuss this week as far as this whole crossover thing. Next to the whole, fantasy booking this, that, I want to see this guy and this girl wrestle, whatever. I think there's a lot of people saying, hey, guess what? There's going to be a lot of eyes on Impact Wrestling within the next few weeks out of this news breaking, and they're going to finally see how good our women's division, how good our tag division and others are in this company, And AEW needs some work, but you know what? If us working with them helps them in a sense, because look, this whole year has been shit on everyone, and I know this year has affected AEW's brand women's division significantly, and they've been constantly in a rebuilding phase. But if we can help them, as in their eyes are going to kind of help us, it's great for everyone.
It's a no lose for everybody involved here. Like that's the bottom line.
No, it's definitely a no lose because there's no doubt TNT, huge reach as a cable station. So that just only helps. Like there's no negative in my mind. Now I know we said it on our news show the other day, but is there history where you could have apprehension? Yes. Are those real things to consider? Yes. Should I get overly worried about it? No. Let's see what happens. Let's let it play out a little bit before get too conspiracy theory on stuff with contracts running out and this guy's going to take this guy here and there. Let's not get that far. Right now, it's all positive for Impact. Take it for what it is. We'll see what happens.
That's it.
The best one I heard is that Tony Khan is buying Impact. I'm like, Jiminy Christmas. Seriously, folks. People don't realize that Anthem and the people that run Anthem it's a $1 billion network that have Access TV amongst a bunch of other little things involved, sports and entertainment and all sorts of stuff.
It's what a smart ass fan now. Like they're buying. It's like, you don't know anything. That one definitely.
Yeah, they're owned by a company that owns the network that shows them, and I dare say it's their number one show. Is that smart business to get rid of that? Yeah. Doesn't seem like it, but
go figure. Wrestling fans know everything, right? Yeah.
To the people that are spreading that around.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Although getting into the whole where the wrestling is quality-wise, and no show's perfect. I think our good buddy Vince Russo has said it before. So where is he? Oh,
I was hitting it too.
Vince Russo, how you doing?
I was hitting it too, trying to.
He kept going back. He kept going back. But our good buddy Vince Russo would say, "You got to write wrestling as a TV show."
That's right.
And that's where not every promotion gets it right. And I would dare say Impact, and I don't think people have watched Impact for the last year and a half, 2 years, especially the Don and Scott era. They are the best written TV show for wrestling. And I don't think it's really that debatable. But a lot of people haven't had their eyes on it. Like we like to say, like AEW, great talent, great roster. But are they being written for TV? Maybe, maybe not. Where hopefully that can improve with this relationship with Impact, because I think they're doing a great job as writing for TV as opposed to writing just for pure wrestling matches.
And that's where you gotta approach it like it is. At the end of the day, it's a television show. The wrestling is the vehicle, but it's a television show. You gotta approach, because you want the average guy who doesn't know shit about fuck when it comes to headlocks and planchas and her. You want that guy to be like, what's going on here? Wrestler's court. What the hell is that? You want that guy to stumble on. That guy's not watching a 20-minute match. That guy wants to just laugh and see something cool on TV or a beautiful girl or something and be like, I'm going to watch this for a few minutes, And that's so you got to take the approach, but then make everything in between solid. Your matches, make them solid. Give them good book, give them good agenting. But the surrounding structure's got to be strong to make that average guy who doesn't know anything about this to stop and go, this looks funny. Yeah, this looks cool. What do we got here? So that's where the hook is, Real quick, Jay, what was the recap match? Let's just mention it real quick.
Oh, the recap was Shamrock versus Swan for the championship.
Solid match. If you guys missed it on Impact and Access TV, go watch it. All right, let's open up a couple of topics. We're running pretty long in the tooth. We're almost at our hour. Let's give a couple topics, then we'll call it. We're not going to go too late. We never want to go too late on the Sunday show, especially for Bill. He just flew in. And boy, his arm's tired. All right, what do you guys want to talk about? Let's start off. Let me aim for 3 good topics, and we'll see where we end up there. Bill, you got anything on the agenda right away?
Let me take a look here. I will give you a little update from Impact related from my trip.
I do like Adam saying he wants the tunnels back, though. That's one thing he wants out of this whole deal. Give us our goddamn tunnels back. All right, what do you got, folks?
Are those? I keep hearing people saying that. Are those legit the old tunnels from TNA?
It's not been verified, but I've heard that they are. I don't know if that's
they
true.
They look very similar, maybe with some updated lighting inside.
It really is. It looks like the tunnels from Universal, man. Kevin might know. Kevin, if you're still in here, are those the tunnels? Did they sell them at Dixie sell them when she was leaving the company? Like, all right, I got tunnels here. Who wants some tunnels here?
And how did one not wind up in my house?
That's
I crawl through that every day.
I get it, man.
I mean, like Andy Dufresne.
Bill just go to work, just getting ready to go to work. Get ready to fly. Just walking out the door. Holy shit. Can you imagine? Gardner next door is getting looks like a tunnel put on his front door. What happened to his front door? Looks like some kind of tunnel.
Well, if you put it upright, you could almost make like a shower stall out of it.
Bill, I think you got to talk to somebody about the tunnels.
Yeah.
Not our tunnels. Definitely inspired. There's no question they're inspired by TNA. No question about it.
Yeah.
No question about it.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's a nod to the past. That's nothing. I don't look at that as something negative. I think it's funny as hell. I think it's great.
Adam's saying he wants bedroom tunnels. He wants a tunnel for his bedroom. I gotta say, Adam,
what?
You're stay married to that. If your wife knows that's a fantasy of yours, stay married to that woman. That is a keeper.
But Adam, you have to put my touch on it right here.
Yeah,
because I got one of the signs when they had them. I got the Impact Zone sign, so you got to go tunnels into the Impact Zone.
I hope that'd be awesome.
Full gimmick, baby.
We gotta go full gimmick. Full gimmick on the tunnels. All right. What do we got? Bill? Anything in there?
Let's see. We had
a lot of topics.
I see a lot of comments, but I'm going back earlier to see if any questions.
There was so many popping up. We were just kind of talking about them too. So we we might have answered a few of the things. You know, I got one from Critical Steam. Let me pop this up real quick while you're looking.
All right.
This was interesting. What if different people are portraying suicide at Xplosion as a version of a tryout match?
That'd be tough. That'd be tough.
real tough. Because
you're doing someone else's gimmick.
And I can't imagine there's that many different suits laying around in different sizes. But put it this way. Just conceptually, on a very loose conceptual idea, it's kind of a great idea in a way. It's like that's your tryout match, but then you're still wrestling in one form of style, right? Like it's just you don't get to really show yourself off.
Yeah,
it's kind of a weird thing.
Let me add on this little hint of something different.
That was
but we obviously know there have been people that have done one-offs with suicide, so it's not crazy. But it was more, I think, out of like emergency.
Yeah, we need someone here. There was another question here. I can't find it right away, but it was: would you like the 6-sided ring to come back at any point? You know, for Jay saying no. Jay, no. Did you never like it, Jay?
I liked it. I didn't like hate it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I know most wrestling, or I should say most wrestlers' opinions out there is that they weren't real fond of it. That it was like more difficult to maneuver off of, around, you know, like they were a lot, like there wasn't there wasn't that common give that you're used to, and it takes adjusting to, and it's hard to do on the fly sometimes. Mm-hmm. So it's, you know, I'm just thinking like big picture here, you know. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, and I know the talent has spoken out against it. I feel from seeing it live a number of times, I'll just say this: I feel like it does more likely expose the business. 6 sides, you can't hide as easily in 6 sides. And I think that's the same thing for cameras, picking things up. I just think there's not that flow. 4 sides is the natural. Now, certain matches, I know someone mentioned it earlier. Like if you told me a throwback for Lockdown in 6 sides, I can be on board with Lockdown in a 6 side. That makes sense. That's different. But for like every show, no.
Yeah, no.
That's one thing Hogan and Bischoff did have right.
I'll give them that. Aesthetically, I remember going to shows, and it was unique. You know, you see it, you're like, that is different. It was nothing like I'd ever seen. I mean, in person, I'd never seen, I'd never been to Arena Mexico or anything, so I never saw a 6-sided ring in use. It's cool. It was cool to see, but I could see, because it did set them apart. Some liked it, some didn't, but I agree. You lose a lot with that too. But 100%, you're telling me 6 sides of steel for Lockdown. Hey, I'm all in. The more cages, the better. You know, it's like I'm all in for that. But I don't need it every week on Impact Wrestling. You don't need it on the TV show. So that's fine. CM Chris wants to know what's Mike Tenay even doing now? Has he retired from commentary? He is retired. He surfaces on Twitter about once a year. Sadly, he surfaces usually when somebody passes of his generation. He'll come on to do a tribute. Most recently, as we all knew, guys, Velvet Sky just had a thought one day and just wanted to give Mike Tenay a shout out and just say how great he was. And her tweet went viral as hell to the point where someone either called Tenay and said, hey, you might want to check your Twitter because you're trending in the United States right now. Mike Twitter was trending in the top 10 in the U.S. for a couple hours, and he was overwhelmed by the love he got. So he's living in Vegas. He used to do a podcast at the sports gambling podcast. I think he's out of that too. And he runs one of the bigger sports books in Las Vegas now. So he's a sports analyst pretty much in Las Vegas. So you might come across him if you're part of sports book betting out there. But the 3 of us guys, we talk about Tenay on the weekly on the Throwback Show every Thursday night.
I was hoping to run into him. I did not run into him.
Oh, I would love to. That's one guy I'd love to meet. I met him. I did meet him. I did meet Tenay. I would love to meet him properly with a camera and actually, I got his autograph. I never Took a picture with him, but I just love to talk to him now with today's eyes and be like, you're a goddamn artist. You are an absolute fucking artist is what you are. Jay, when we started doing throwback, one of the first things Jay picked up on was like, God, the commentary is so good. So
yeah, it was a 3-man team in the beginning. It was really interesting. I know what was the third guy? Don West, Ferrara, and he didn't last too long. He only lasted a few tapings, but man, he did have some funny points in there. And watching Ferrara bounce off of West, and of course, Today started out real stiff, but he has really loosened up over the course of that first year, and it's been really interesting watching him do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's been great, man. He is so good at covering plot holes. He covers. He explains stuff. His commentary is infectious. Bill, you were out on Thursday. Mark was in with us on Throwback. And there was a couple of things that he just, like on episode 50, on TNA number 50, he covered some plot holes, Jay, that we were just like, shit. Like, he wasn't insulting our intelligence. He's like, I know people are going to question this. I'm fucking questioning this. Let me at least call it out here.
Yeah. He'll do like shooty type stuff once in a while,
He knows when something doesn't make sense. He's like, well, I'm going to at least try to make sense of it. Let's do 2 more and then we'll call it on the questions, guys. Elijah's got one. How do you guys feel about this? What if Willie Mack slowly turns heel on Rich Swann, but wait for them to do Moose versus Swann for the belt? Because if you watch Impact, J Bone got a point by what if? Okay, I'm a little broken up there, but I guess what he's trying to say is how you feel if Willie turned on Swann after Swann and Moose did their thing. And then you got Bay in the mix on this whole thing too. You got a lot of guys. That main event picture, it's crowded in a good way. I'm gonna say it, Bill, right?
There's a few different things going on there, yeah.
And I'll confirm. Like, it's obviously Rich Swann. We said last year before the injury, MVP, just bringing it every week. And I actually, on my trip just now, I saw Chris Bay wrestle 3 times. Chris Bay, I've liked him from the get-go. I know there was debates early on Chris Bay.
Early on, I was not sold on him, and I love him now.
Chris Bay's a star. Chris Bay's a star. Just watching him, everything he does is TV ready. He is Mr. TV because his reactions, just his facial expressions, his psychology in the ring.
Oh, God.
He's doing everything right. He was hitting on all cylinders on these shows. And I was like, you know what? Put a rocket on him. Just like Ace Austin, that this is a to the moon guy, Chris Bay. Because he really impressed me. And I've liked him before, but I guess maybe I didn't see him in a while. But it was just like, wow, that's real noticeable. And real noticeable. Didn't see Mike Tenay, but I did see in the crowd at one of the shows I was at, one DeLorean Brown.
Oh, really? He lives in Vegas.
He does, yeah. So he was, I'm sure, checking out maybe a student keeping eyes on or something.
Yeah, why not?
Scouting
for sure.
At a women's show, so that's always good things to say.
That's always great. That's what we flagship on is that women's division, man. Jay, I know you love what's going on in this title picture. You're a big fan of this.
Just a brief example of how good Bay is. That last few seconds of the show, after he had Swann flat on the ground, and he picked up that championship as he's standing over Rich Swann, and he held it up, and he's sweating beads, and he's just staring. He starts quaking, looking at it like, oh my God, this is becoming a reality. And then they officially made the match, and just when I got goosebumps just talking about it. Just that authentic reaction from Chris Bay was just like, oh my God,
What made it even better is later that night he put up a split shot of that scene that you just talked about, and him at 14 with the old TNA belt that he got for Christmas from his dad. I remember he talking about that. literally posing in his bedroom as a teenager with in the same pose.
Yeah.
Now, you'd be hard pressed to find me marking out at an emotional level a lot, but that one got me because to me, that's a kid's. You can call wrestling whatever you want, but that's a 14-year-old kid who literally in his bedroom was taking pictures holding the TNA title, and whether he wins it or not, it's one thing. But that 14-year-old kid could never imagine that he'd be on national or worldwide television in the same pose, holding that Impact Wrestling title to the point where he could split shot it. And like, talk about destiny. To me, that's like, this is the generation that grew up on Impact Wrestling and TNA. TNA.
It is. It's that youth that's in the Impact ring right now. That's why
company.
they're there.
That's why they grew up on this. And that to me was just an awesome visual. It made me love him even more because I was like, this means so much to him. From a emotional level, the kid's doing it because this is that 14-year-old kid is still inside, feeling that moment. So when Jay, you're saying he's holding it and shaking that, like we all were there. We all did that in our bedroom. After watching wrestling and wanting to be the star, that kid waited for that moment, to get the shot to pose this out.
Oh yeah.
And I hope to God he is at the top of his company one day because that kid absolutely has shown nothing but growth. And I wasn't, and you guys know, in the beginning I was hard on him. I was very hard on him. I was like, I'm not feeling it. I don't see the hype. I wasn't feeling his stuff, and everybody's like, you're too. I'm like, I'm not getting it. And I think they weren't booking him right in the beginning, but when they fully turned him with that belt and everything, and the thing with Rohit, that was the shift for Chris Bay. The entire Rohit feud, when he hit that stride of the Xplosion title, and then he shifted, that's the Bay that was just on his way. That rhyme, by the way.
Sun Bay.
Sun Bay, man, that was awesome. I loved it. I'm with him, man. So, but let's start winding it down, guys. We're over an hour here. We definitely want to keep Sunday to this hour. We don't want to go too long. We got to save a lot of this firepower for Tuesday. That's the big flagship show, Impact on Access TV. Watch along with Bill and Jay. Post-show review with the whole team. We got surprises. We got some new stuff coming. It's coming Tuesday. It's gonna be fun. We got a lot of stuff cooking, guys. So we are so excited with all the new people who have joined us. We're really, really excited about going into 2021 with a whole new crew and a bunch of new people just to take us and a very exciting product to boot. So
yeah,
let's wind it down. Jay, where can people find you, man?
You can find me over on that other little podcast called Smash This Podcast. Speaking of Final Resolution, I recently reviewed the first Final Resolution ever, 2005. Ooh. So if you're interested in that throwback review, go check that out. I cover all things wrestling, a little bit of up north, a little down south, and of course, right here, this stuff too. And there's always cats involved too, like this one that just decided to pop in and hi, how you doing? You can find Smash This Podcast on YouTube, Twitch, the Instaneck, the Facebotch, and the Twitter box.
Very nice. Bill, the wild adventures of Wild Bill. Where can people find you?
They can find me on the Twitter is usually the most active, Twitter and Instagram, at my name, at William M. Gardner, GARDNER.
His photo is very professional, guys. You see the guy without a wrestling shirt on, it is Bill. I rest assure you, it is still Bill in that very professional photo he's got on his Twitter. He might not have a red Johnny Swinger shirt on, but it's the same guy. So very nice.
Well, who knows? I may be working on something to look even more professional. Maybe I'll have to change that picture. We'll see.
Oh my goodness, there's some stuff cooking here with the Roadmaster himself, Brother Bill. You guys can get me over at Transberry over on Twitter and HEMI Music over on Twitter and Instagram. Give that a follow. The show at We Talk Impact, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Type in Total Nonstop Impact, comes right up on everything. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Amazon, all audio platforms, guys. Rate, review, subscribe. YouTube.com/Total Nonstop Impact. Twitch.tv/Total Nonstop Impact. ProWrestlingTees.com/Total Nonstop Impact. Impact TNI UK, Bison and Joker just dropped a new episode of their show Impacted, where they talk about news, results, rumors, kind of a discussion show from the view of across the pond. Bison was so upset that they essentially missed the buzz that they recorded the show right like Wednesday afternoon before all the stuff popped off. So if you listen to the recent episode of Impacted, they're not talking about the AEW Impact crossover because they just missed it by a few hours, but a good listen nonetheless. So give them a listen and connect with all of us. Links to everybody's Twitters in the description below, guys. Discord as well. Jay, am I missing something? You're about to pop in on something.
I just wanted to mention Bison just did a great little interview with ODB, former TNA knockout.
Knockout legend, man. ODB. It is on the channel on YouTube right now and audio. Give that a listen, guys. That's everything, right? We miss anything? We're good.
Don't miss Tuesdays. Go to Twitch. We'll be streaming it live.
It's going to be a long night with the TNI Crew, Impact. Who knows? It could even get to after dark. It could get so crazy on Tuesday night.
We might have a long one Tuesday. Either it's going to be a long one or a bonus show. Or a bonus hour. It's going to be a lot to digest. Stay tuned for it, but tune in. I'm encouraging everybody, retweet Impact stuff, hashtag Impact and Access TV. Get it out. Do it now. Start it tonight, tomorrow. Get the buzz going. It's a big week. Be excited. And you know what? Above all, have fun. This is a fun fucking week that's about to happen for all of us. Like, when was the last time we all went into a big angle like this without knowing anything? This is it. Enjoy that, guys. So
nobody knows. And don't believe the hype. Nobody knows shit. Just watch as a fan.
Yes. Put it this way. I put it as the dirt sheet guys. If they're so smart, how come none of them knew about this? Insider, we're so insider. Not a single dirt sheet knew about this whatsoever. Nothing. So if they're all the shit they're reporting about it, take that with a grain of salt. They didn't know anything about it going in. So nobody's telling them anything. They have no real sources that's really telling them anything. So don't believe this bullshit. Just have fun and watch the show. Enjoy the goddamn night. Tuesday's going to be a lot of goddamn fun. We'll be there to hang out with you. And we'll go from there. So let's have a good time, guys. All right? More details on Tuesday. I'm going to try to plan. We're planning something Christmas after next week, after Final Resolution Week. We're trying to get something for Toys for Tots going, like a 24-hour Twitch stream type of thing, all-nighter, maybe not 24 hours, but an all-nighter. I'm trying to kill J-Bone is what I'm trying to do here. An all-nighter Twitch stream, all proceeds to go to Toys for Tots. Trying to organize it. I'm going to talk to these boys about it over the next couple of days. We'll figure out a day to do it. So keep that in the back of your minds, guys. We're going to do it pretty much after next week at some point leading into Christmas. So we'll let you guys know about that too. But I think anything else, Jay?
How many energy drinks could J-Bone pound if J-Bone could pound drink? Good night, folks.
There's never enough. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a great night, everybody. Have a great week. We'll talk to you Tuesday night. Impact and Access TV. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Find me the name of this garbage show again that I'm on.
Total Nonstop Impact.
My name's John Capital letter E period Bravo, and you're listening to the Total Nonstop Impact Podcast.
This is the jaw-jacking Tuesday night impacting. His mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha skin manimal, Rohit Raju, and you are watching Total Nonstop Impact.
This is Taya La Güera Loca, and you are listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and you're listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
We are the Rascals. And you are listening to Total
Nonstop
Impact Podcast, baby.
Woo! And what you're really listening to is Total Nonstop Impact. Don't you dare miss a lesson. Oh, yeah.